Good evening, everybody. It is a good evening. Brian and I have attended Halloween Horror Nights 34 2025.
Hey,
Orlando.
look at me. Look at me.
He was one of the first in the fog.
I was the first in the fog. It says so on my shirt.
We were both some of the first in the fog, but Brian, sadly, our time at HHN is over for the year.
That's it. Halloween's done. I packed up and got Christmas out.
We have to live vicariously through the X posts and the Instagram posts and everything.
Yeah.
Watch
Do I
everyone
have
else
it
go.
up on my phone right
Yes.
now with the lines and wait times updating? Maybe.
All right. So right now, if you could go to one house, what would it be?
Whew, I was going to say, you have time away, so now you really get to answer that question.
Yes.
And I honestly, to get everything that I would want, if I could go to one house right now, it'd be Terrifier.
Actually, that would be mine as well.
Isn't that crazy?
So, that is
In
crazy.
what world, Rob? This is your confirmation.
Yep.
I know you're going through a lot right now, but take that. It's shocking.
We'll
get to it. We'll get to it.
We'll get to it in a little bit. But that definitely, that was one that we did not get to do, or I didn't get to do multiple times. I know you got to do, but Brian, so this episode, as early in the season, is kind of a little bit of review, a little bit of trip recap.
It's weird.
Yes. So this is kind of a hodgepodge of what our experience at Premium Night was. I know that was a controversy. If anybody's been following that, there's been a lot of positive, a lot of maybe not so positive. I got a kick out of reading everything. And man, I'll tell you, it was a spirited debate in the household that I was staying in. Lots of pros and cons, and would you not? Is it worth it? Is it not? So we're going to go into a little bit of that tonight. But first, a little bit of a trip recap for all of our listeners. They all like to know. We do it. We talk about, Brian. We got a podcast. We go every year. It's always a big deal. Our trip is always meticulously planned. But yeah, you and I, well, you did 2 nights. Actually, Brian, correct me if I'm wrong. Is this the first year that you've actually gone more than I have?
I think so. I think it's gotta be.
So 2 nights still.
We did it. Cheers. But you have 2 months to still.
The discussion has continued, but I think we've pretty much landed on I can't really go. Really doesn't make much sense. My heart wants to go. My heart wants to be there, but I have to stay true. So in order to cope, we started planning 35.
All right.
So I've already been working with some AI planning things to kind of spec out how much a full-on unmasking, frequent fear
just
plus hotel,
nice.
And then kind of just going ahead and saving for that experience. And also next year's the anniversary year. Not saying those are always the best, but they usually go a little bit extra hard. So
topic, I mean, they told us before this event started that they already had all the originals approved and we're working on them. For next year. So.
Yep. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, 34 is over. So we just move on to 35.
We just keep going.
Most people haven't even gone yet, but it's dead to me. So you and I got to go to Premium Night.
We did.
We both rolled in on Wednesday.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but for me, it was all let's rest on Thursday. Let's sleep in. Let's eat some carbs for lunch. And Leah and I ended up getting to the park right about 4:40, grabbing a Fat Tuesday's drink for old tradition's sake, and getting in line. Yeah. Which you ended up meeting us not too long afterwards.
No, we took it easy Wednesday, met up with a few people at City Walk. I really liked, we said it was hard because normally we're land and go.
Yeah.
I think this is one of the first times, we might have done it another year, where I said this year, since I only get one trip this year, and with the new, we don't have any other fall trips, we don't have any other big trips. I said, I was asking Abby, I was like, hey, would you be cool if I just went a day early and so I didn't have to rush? And man, was it fantastic.
The difference it makes.
I actually enjoyed shopping for merch because I could just, that was it. I go and, and it was a bit of a thing. I got there at 11:30, asked for early check-in, and my friends ended up checking in 5 hours after me when they changed their hotel last minute, and my room still wasn't ready. So, I got a survey. Survey is the theme this
Yes.
episode. But anyway, it didn't matter. They treated me nice. They gave me some free meals. It was
There you
awesome. Was sad that I didn't get a point for the walkthrough coming back at Cabana Bay. That was a bummer. Instead, we got 16 million volleyball team people. And in that space where the walkthrough was is where all their stuff was stored.
Well, yeah.
They were everywhere. I'm not joking.
That could be a horror in and of itself.
It was. And so, yeah, the next day we woke up. We were going to do stuff, but Spence wasn't feeling 100. And honestly, it was the right call. And we weren't ever going to do anything day of premium. It was always going to be the day after. So, yeah, we took it easy. I hooked up my laptop in the hotel room with Shudder and watched some horror movies.
Yeah.
Like, it was great. Met up with you, and it was interesting and exciting that day, Ryan, because last year no one was talking about it.
No.
We were convinced the event wasn't even happening. Just people were like, no one knows what you're talking about.
Yeah, they're like, no way, this is worth it.
And the buzz and the amount of people talking about it had me very concerned for what was to come. And that was pretty well neutralized when we got to the gate. I was like, oh, well, we're still good.
For a sold-out event.
For a sold-out event, there's not that many people out front at 5 p.m.
Yeah.
Until, Ryan, and this is, I don't know how we want to handle this. Do we want to take on topics as they come?
We can take on topics as we come, yeah.
Okay, so, we're like, okay, not bad. It did fill up more than last year, but I'm like, this still isn't that bad. Where is everybody? And I get a text, are you going to stay and Scream tonight? I said, that's not a thing tonight.
Yeah.
Turns out, super secret annual pass holder.
The thing is this, Brian, I have no idea how people found out about this because they didn't do it last year. And they do it this year. And I even put, and like when they asked me in the survey, like I'd include this, I'm like, you and I are in the know.
Yep.
Like we follow all the pages. You go online and check out the Reddits and things like that. How did we miss this? Not that we could have taken advantage. Either you or I are pass holders.
Yep.
So it's not like I could.
But I think we would have planned a little. It would have just been nice to know.
We would have planned a little bit differently. And I will say that before this trip, now we probably couldn't have made it work. But I was considering signing up for an annual pass ahead of this trip. Just be like, hey, maybe we've been waiting for a time to do it. Maybe this is the time to do it. Maybe we just do seasonal this time.
Yeah.
And it's like that could have been a factor into swinging me into, doing or to getting an annual pass so I could do Stay and Scream because
100%.
I would have probably
because not only that, yes, you would have also gotten to do what made me more mad was they got the experience we got last year, right? Where they got to do houses multiple times and this was a big hot topic for for premium night. They bumped the time from 7:30 to 6:30, which I learned wasn't well communicated.
Which I didn't even pay attention originally. I just assumed it was. I just assumed if Halloween Horror Nights is happening at 6:30.
It's happening at 6:30. Why would it be 7:30? And they'll just get it open whenever they get it open.
Exactly.
But it turns out those people were going through houses at 5:15.
Yeah.
5:30, which is crazy. That's another hour.
Yeah, they got basically an extra hour, and pretty much all the people got to do the sound stages ahead of time.
Yeah.
And very well pulsed as well. So that was a little bit disheartening, but Brian, you and I discussed, let's see, I got there at the gates a little bit before 5, and they let us in, about 6:05 or so?
6:05, yeah, it was quick.
Something like that, which is still, hey, we got an extra 25 minutes, don't really mind that. We decided to do the right path, because in my thinking, I was like, everyone's going to head to the sound stages.
Yep.
I was correct, because we go over and we do this, we start hitting, we did Hatchet and Chains. We pretty much did Hatchet and Chains, Dolls, Gulkin, and it was about Gulkin that we started hitting a little bit of a line, but only like a 5-minute line. That was also about the time it started raining as well. I'm sure anybody that followed the weekend know that Premium Night was the only night that weekend that had any sort of type of rain, and it downpoured for about 3 hours.
Yeah. It was not a quick Florida storm.
But we were able to knock out 4 houses. I think it was like within an hour.
Yep.
Or so.
Yeah, we had 5 done in 90 minutes.
Okay.
So you can't, that's great.
It was about that time that things started picking up. Food lines were the things that I immediately saw were really long about that time. That was when Leah wanted to start getting food, and I was looking at the lines. And I was like, oh, I don't really want to take a break. She split off to get Mel's, which she said there was no line at Mel's, which people
inside.
tend to forget that at the event that all the sit-down restaurants too are free. They think it's just a specialty food.
It's
but
just a special.
You can go to Simpson's, you can go to Mel's, you could go wherever and get free food. So she went and took advantage of that. And then I went and got into the line with Jason by myself, which was interesting. I didn't really want to do it by myself, but I was like, whatever, I'll just go ahead and get in line.
Yeah.
But then
and the rain is still full force at this point.
Which I'm already like in line, not super happy just going through by myself. But then I get to the front and I'm like, they're like, oh yeah, we're not pulsing.
Yeah.
The line's too long. And I was like, wait a second, that's not a thing.
That's not a thing.
They promise 30-minute lines and they promise that you get pulsed.
But nowhere did it say if lines exceed 30 minutes, pulsing goes away.
Yes.
Both of them were guarantees. And this is where the event starts to get into some troublesome water.
Yeah, it gets a little bit murky because I will say that and this was a theme for the night, was that I didn't mind waiting in a little bit of a longer line if it meant that I was very 100%. Well pulsed. But
100%.
when I would wait in a 30 to 40 minute line and then it would just be a conga line, at that point it just becomes a regular night at Halloween Horror Nights.
Yeah.
You've looked at tonight, this is a Friday night that we're recording, and at this time some of the houses are at 45 minutes. So really,
I will say one caveat to that when we get to it though.
Yeah.
Because I'll say it now because I have a lot of thoughts on this topic, but it is I thought the same thing until I went on a normal night. And Ryan, I forgot, and I mean this in the most kind, loving way, I forgot how wretched the general public is.
There is that point too. Yeah.
That hour line and Jason the next night pushed me and Spence to my limit to where we're like, did we just go home? These people are awful. Between the high schoolers and the drunks, premium night was a godsend, and I'll pay to I literally texted my wife and I said I'd pay an extra $200 right now to get rid of 80% of these personalities.
That is a fair argument.
And that's one thing I liked about premium is it was a cool crowd. There were some general people, but overall, great, respectful night. Everyone who just
we
loved
had no
the event,
issues.
The boat ride
Everybody was excited. It was very good. But so we got to do those 5 houses, and then
it started to get long.
Yeah, then that was when it started getting a little bit more. We were able to walk onto Grave. We met up again. We did Mummy Tribute Store. Well, Tribute Store.
I would like to officially. I have held my opinion. I have reserved. I waited. I gave them the benefit of the doubt. It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's not good.
Definitely. I just wish. Just say you're not doing one this year.
Yeah. Don't call it a tribute store.
And I see people try to say oh, it's got all these Easter eggs and all, but it's it's not the same. It's not what they've done a lot. Especially because
it was cool if it wasn't a tribute store.
Exactly. No, that's the thing is it's the hype behind it. If they had just said, hey, we're not doing a tribute store, but we're going to kind of expand Mummy's gift shop a little bit and turn it into okay, cool. And then it would have been, oh, this is actually pretty interesting. But it was not impressive.
No.
I will say, as people saw on your shirt, they did have a special premium night shirt, which I absolutely loved. Didn't even consider
another thing.
Yeah.
They got a lanyard out of the gate. They debuted a shirt, and we wouldn't have even known about the shirt. Yeah. Well, not the lanyard though.
Well,
but
the lanyard we paid for, but yeah.
But I didn't know about either of those things, and I don't even know. You found the shirt, right?
Yeah, we were looking online and people were we're starting.
Do you know how mad I would have been if? And it was hidden. It was up at the front. I wouldn't have gone and seen it. And
that's the thing. It's the behind the scenes panel that they had. That suddenly they start putting up signs in the park saying that they're doing a behind the scenes panel. We're like, when was this a thing? When was this announced?
Yeah.
Well, it's a little bit too late for the first showing now, but we want to keep on doing houses. So, but if we had known it ahead of time, we might have planned to do that because that would have been cool.
It would have been.
But yeah, we went on and we did the soundstage. We walked on the Grave. We did Terrifier 15 minutes.
Yep.
I don't think the sound stages weren't really the area. Maybe 20 minutes, 30, 25 minutes for those. It wasn't really until we started doing them again that we started hitting them. We were able to do all the 10. And then I know I did 14 total. I think you did 15.
Yeah, because I think we only got one other.
Yeah, one more because you guys did Terrifier one last time that night.
Yeah.
We all did Wet Path on Terrifier.
Yeah, we did.
Which was fun. I didn't end up seeing any Art the Clowns, but I think that was just bad luck on my part because I saw that he was there and he was walking around.
It was a little bit bad luck, a little bit storms. I mean, all the roamers and characters were in for the storms and for waiting to get dry. We only saw him once on premium night, and it was at the very end of the night. So,
and we saw the Lagoon show.
And we saw the Lagoon show.
Yep.
I can't
welcome edition. Yeah.
I can't talk about how much I love that being back. Both nights, coming out of a house, coming out of a Starbucks, just seeing.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
Amazing.
Getting our Starbies.
Yeah.
And I will go ahead. Sidebar. If you haven't seen the show, the Lagoon show, go see it right now. Make it a priority.
Yeah.
There are calls for storms, and it's not out of their own possibility that if a storm comes, that you lose the show for the season.
If they get hit by another hurricane, I will acknowledge that maybe we should stop doing the Lagoon show, because that would be bad timing. I mean, two times they do it, and
well, that was what I was talking to somebody, and they're like, I'm not going to make it a priority. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. This is something that could go away if you
go away, and they're not bringing it back if it gets damaged.
No, that's the
again.
thing. It's like any year that they have a hurricane and something gets put away for damage, it never comes back. They did that with the bars in 2017, and and then they did with the first rendition of the show a couple years ago for Ghoulish. But yeah, I had a great time. We ended up leaving about 1:45, so essentially closing it. We did we ended on El Artista for the second time.
Yeah.
And
what more do you need after that?
I know. Yeah, it was a fantastic last run, and I was tempted to do Terrifier. One last time, but didn't really. By that point, my legs were shot. My feet were soaked from the 3 hours of storms because we all didn't stop.
No,
a lot
we
of
did
people
not.
went inside. I was like, this is the time to do houses.
I saw a lot of people complaining about the weather, and it's like, bro.
Yeah.
Come on.
I'm sorry, but that's like, are you new to theme parks?
Yeah. Are you going to wait? People waited at Hard Rock, in other places. They're like, oh, I'll wait for the store to pass, because they all thought they were going to get last year.
Yeah.
And
that's the thing. And I mean, at this point, Brian, you and I can both kind of give our honest opinion on premium night, and that's really what I feel. So I mean, I feel I'm mostly positive on our premium night experience. There are things that I think are growing pains that should be addressed. I did think that the event was, and when I say this, I don't mean this in the same way that everyone else is meaning it. I do feel like it was a little bit oversold.
Yeah.
I don't think that it's as bad as what people said it was.
No.
I expected it to be busier, definitely busier than what it was last year. You and I said it's not going to happen again.
Anybody who expected it to be last year is silly. I'm sorry.
But this year, it being 30 to 40 minute lines, I was like, hey, and I even said this in my response to, in the survey, I filled out what I thought, and I was like, just take out 1,500 to 2,000 people.
Yeah.
If you can do that, that should bring it down to 20 to 25 minutes, makes it a little bit better. Also, you can't do this whole no pulsing crap.
Yeah.
If that's if they took away if they said that they were going to continue doing that next year, I would definitely reconsider doing premium, because I don't want to take that risk.
Yeah.
Because that's a big thing for me. Because honestly, Brian, my overall thoughts on premium and the event is I loved it. And while I would like to go back for repeat, I don't have that HHN craving where I'm like, oh, I feel like I missed out. I feel like I did every house the best I could do it.
And got good experiences.
Yeah.
And
when you're being pulsed, you get the best experience through the house. So I don't. Yeah. Some of them Fallout. I'm like, I don't need to do that again. That I felt like I did it, and I did it well, and I don't really desire to do it again.
And that's the to answer your question from a few weeks ago, a month ago. I think you can rank the houses after premium if you get a solid premium run through.
Yeah.
And I agree with the satisfaction of not needing to do the event again, to the point where, we'd already bought our ticket Friday, and I'm going to be honest, if I didn't have a ticket for Friday, I don't know if I would have gone. I might have gone to something else. Now there's nothing else to do, so I probably still would have gone. But Iowa at night, or I mean, again, with the problem with premium being so early, or Epic, is there's no other options. I would have gone to Howl-O-Screen in a heartbeat.
That was originally I was like, oh, if Howl-O-Screen was open, I would have done one night at Halloween Horror Nights and another night at Howl-O-Scream, especially because I feel like I could do Howl-O-Scream chiller anyways. I don't need to do everything at Howl-O-Scream.
Here's the thing, and what you said, and why I love premium. After every other thing you're doing, the reason I book private Rest in Peace tour from out of state, when you don't get 8 nights, right?
Yeah.
When you have limited time, I'm going for the best value. Premium night guarantees the run-throughs. Nothing else does, in my opinion.
That's true.
I do a private Rest in Peace tour, so we have the chance. You chase that good run-through, right?
Yeah.
That's what you're doing. You want good run-throughs at every house. And Friday night, getting to only do 8 of the 10 houses, and only doing we did 7 of them once. there were two that there was a couch change. I was like, and that's it. And if that was my experience,
exactly,
that's how I rate. And
that's even the downside of Express is that and if you go
can pay
one night
all
with
that
Express,
money.
you can hit cast change. And case in point, okay, my first run through with Jason was awful.
Yeah.
When I got out of Jason, it was so funny. I did it by myself. I ran into y'all, and I was like, that house just flat out sucked.
Yeah.
And I'm like, one of the worst houses I've ever done, hard stop. Because, like, I went in the house, and they kept on bragging about how many Jasons they had. I saw 3 in the entire house. And if you've done the house, you understand that
there's
for
about
some of the house, there's
10 times that.
Well, and also, there's some sections that have scenery, but the second half of the house is no sets. It's just a hallway with Jasons.
Yeah.
And so if there's no Jasons,
there's nothing.
Yeah.
And that one was crazy because our first 2 run-throughs, we had really great run-throughs. And I'm so glad we did it the third time pulse. And I told Tyler, I was like, hey, I know it's your only night, whatever. I won't force you anything. I said, we haven't seen Jason in a pulsed group yet. And I'm so glad I pushed for it because it hands down was the best run-through of the whole event in terms of scare. But we had seen the house back-to-back 2 times, and I saw 2 cast changes. I don't know if they got held because of weather or if half the house made it, or if just because of the water, like the one scare outside wasn't out, whatever. When we went through the third time, and we saw probably 10 to 12 scares that first time, including the hallway, which is a bulk of those. And then when we went through 3 in the first, and I showed the video to Abby of the walkthrough, in the first 30 seconds, there were 5 scares we didn't see either time in the first 2. So it really was. But
well, you guys were telling me that you're like, that house was the best house of the night.
Yeah,
like,
hands down the best house.
You're like, it's so scary. And I'm like, I don't know what happened. Is this like Bizarro World? Is this like I have no idea, to the point where I'm like, I have to do it again.
Yeah, you got to
give it another shot,
Yeah.
And so that was my second time. And then, I mean, oh my gosh, what a difference. Like I got hit so many times. I absolutely loved it. I don't know if I've ever had a house go from like skyrocket that much in my rankings in one night. Like,
and it's all about the right run through.
Yeah.
And that was the problem with premium, is that if you're starting to lose the guarantee, and this is the rant I wanted to go on, and I felt so strongly about this, I've been trying to sleep on it. I had to go defend premium because it was getting slaughtered.
Yes, I agree.
Cinema style, all over the internet. And I had a pretty fair objective thing, and because people have said, what still makes it premium? And this is my opinion for someone who comes from out of state, not someone who's going every night and saw last year and just thought they'd get extra run-throughs. It's the guarantee that I'm going to get all the house run-throughs that I want at the quality that I want.
Yes.
And that premium experience, why it's premium for me is I've already touched on it, the clientele.
Yeah.
The like navigating the event the second night, immediately way worse.
Mm-hmm.
The scare zones, just walking the event and the scare zones is where
scare zones were on point. I loved all the scares. I don't know if I've loved scare zones that much before.
No,
any
it's
year
been a
I've
while,
gone.
But then you get to see them how they're meant to be seen, which is with not a lot of people. I'm not a foodie, so that's the one thing I can't talk on. But also, we got food.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't a big deal.
We got several different dishes.
We got several different dishes.
I think the thing is that what people kind of went in expecting was that they could just do everything they want when they wanted. I will say that last year we didn't have to be strategic. We could just do whatever we want.
There was still strategy.
But this year there was still a strategy to be had. And that was the thing, is like during traditional dinner time, like between like 7 and 8, I was looking around. I'm like, I'm marathoning houses. Why are you all standing in 45-minute food lines trying to get like a PB&J?
Yeah, trying to get a PB&J and then being like, I don't like it.
And then being like, oh, I can't do all the houses because I spent 2 hours on dinner.
Or the people who were like, oh my God, they lied about these lines. Then continued to wait 60 minutes in a line. Like, leave the line. Yeah. Other houses were so that's what drove me nuts. Was like the people were like, I waited over an hour. I was like, well, that's you shouldn't have done that.
When we first got there, the sound stages were posted like 45-minute, hour-long waits while we're just doing the other tents and like walking on.
Right, because here's the thing. Let's say you cap it and you have 7,000 people. If 6,000 people go to the same house, the line's going to be, you have to disperse. You still can't all go to and so they can't control where everybody goes. And so
And the reason I say that might have been a little bit is because as the night went on and it did disperse, it got to a point where it was like around 9 o'clock. That was when every house was at like a 45-minute wait.
Yeah. And that's where we get to the one point that I can slam them on.
Yeah.
That makes me really angry is them being greedy in the same way. And they've done this for other events throughout the year. And people have been complaining about this. This event was sold out, right?
Yeah.
It kept going up and it hit the number. You can't convince me for a second, as someone who's like worked in haunted houses and worked with people management, that was 7,500 people. And I know that we only have that number from the previous year.
Yeah.
But that was a good, whoever ran the math on lines and people needed for the event, that was a correct number. Then to find out that people were walking up and buying tickets the night of, which I know they have to do because you have to build it. You can't advertise this thing, and there's going to be a family who's going to be. You have to have backup tickets. There was 10,000 people there.
Yeah,
like easy in my opinion.
Yes,
it just was. It was oversold ticket wise. And here's the thing: if you just bumped it down or kept it at 7,000 and did 2 nights, everyone gets a great time.
Yep.
That was the only thing,
and that's the thing. You know, I completely agree with that. Where it's overall, I still feel like the event is a premium event. I would still
100%.
definitely be down to do it again next year. But it's like, okay, bring down the attendance a little bit. Maybe do it a couple different nights. Keep the pulsing. Don't take that away.
To your point, don't even guarantee me a 30-minute line. Guarantee me a 45-minute line, but guarantee me pulsing.
Yeah,
that changes. That is one of the premium factors of this. And
before they even did premium, you and I would talk often about, oh man, how much would you pay to just go through one of the houses by yourself?
Turns out there's a price, and I have it.
And now we can go to an event where we can go through the houses by ourselves as much as we want.
Yeah,
you know, depending on lines. And
what's
that
frustrating
price is not
is
as bad as you would think it would be.
Yeah, and I understand it was raining and people were flooding to inside, and you had to, but like. Even at the end of the night, we got in line for Jason at like 1:58, and they stopped pulsing again, and they just were getting people out to get people home. Yeah. And it's just like, guarantee the pulsing. That's what I personally am paying for. But that being said, I almost started a fight on the boat or bus, wherever I said, on our way back. But I said, look, because we were all talking about it, right?
Yeah.
And I said, I wasn't trying to talk loud, but I was like, look, if you told me right now, nothing changes. Next year is the exact same situation as this year. I'd buy my ticket again in a heartbeat. And it doubled down after going to opening night.
Yeah. And well, that was the thing. The main thing is like everyone was talking about how bad the lines were. And then opening night happens and Five Nights at Freddy's has a 3-hour wait.
The longest wait I've seen in probably 15 years.
Exactly. It's got the longest wait.
And every night. Yeah. Every night. Yep. It's 100, 150. It's crazy.
I was talking to people today and they're like, oh, I might go because I really like Five Nights at Freddy's. And I'm like, it's a 3-hour wait every night.
Yeah.
Like that's... And they're like, well, is there an express pass? And I was like, yeah, like $150. They're like, oh, easy. And I'm like, oh, so even for people that don't come to the event, they're like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. And I mean, we're seeing fast pass lines. I knew Five Nights was popular. I did not think it was going to be that crazy.
Yeah, more than Stranger Things.
It's more than Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Now, one of the bad things that I will say, I don't know how to... so many kids, Ryan.
Yeah.
And I don't mean kids. I mean kids.
Yeah.
Like 10, 9. What are we doing? You know, it's crazy. I'm all over the place. I just want to shout the praise of premium night. Y'all can hate. Keep your frequent fear. Don't come next year.
Yeah.
I don't care because it's not
for frequent fear pass holders.
It's not for frequent fear people. Most of the people complaining were not one time go and like and when I made my post, the people agreeing with me were the out of towners who were like, no, 100% great time.
If you're going to go one night, that's the way to do it. And the thing, and to continue on, it's like we were able to get food. They didn't run out of the food stands that we went to, but you know what? We got our food at like 9, 10 o'clock.
Yeah,
like it's all about pacing yourselves and not prioritize. Like yes, if all you care about is getting food during proper dinner time, you're going to be waiting in dinner time lines.
Yep.
And also, it rained for 3 hours. A lot of people weren't in the park during that 3 hours. And you know what? We got a little bit wet. Now, Lee and I had ponchos, so we got less wet than you guys did. But still, we walked around. My shoes got wet. It's fine.
Yeah.
I did houses. That's all I cared about. I'm like, I paid the money to be here.
It was so much fun. And I'm going to be honest, even though there was nobody in Jason, walking in the outdoor section in the rain was a dope vibe.
Yeah. And then to hear that there are people hanging out the resorts waiting for the rain to stop and then complaining about not being able to do all 10 houses. It's like you showed up at 9 o'clock, 9:30 with only 5 hours, like less than 5 hours left in the night. Of course you didn't do all 10.
Even if you just went, like just logistically. So I think there were a lot of people complaining. Yeah. And guess what? You know what this means? Next year's going to be awesome. I know. Nobody's going to go.
I know. I actually had that same thought where I was like, oh man, now all the negative reviews next year, it's going to be at least
be back to,
at least better.
I just need it not in August so I can go to Hallow Scream.
Well, it'd just be nice to go a little bit later in the season, even though I will say that there's already lots of reports of things being broken, especially in Five Nights.
Five Nights is having it, which we knew was going to happen. I saw it,
but it's like I was talking to somebody and they're like, none of the animatronics like move. They just like move a little bit. And I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah. So, that is an issue. And also the problem is, they have to design these houses. I still can't believe that they do all Wednesday through Sunday, 2 a.m. closes now. I mean, that is so much more wear and tear on stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But
they've been able to apparently manage the amount of water inside Terrifier.
They have,
which I will say, I think we got a little bit of a light night with that.
I do
from what
too.
I've seen.
From what I've seen and what I've heard afterwards, I think they found a good balance. And again, when it storms, I think they know they have to just tone it back because people are already bringing in that much more water. I did have an HHN first this year, Ryan. Because my shoes got ruined the night before, just getting soaked. I told you I was going to get soaked. I got soaked, and I was so mad that I got soaked by the rain before I could get soaked by Terrifier. But I got my second night, but I had to do the second night in Crocs. And not just new Crocs, like 5-year-old Crocs. So they were broken down. I started feeling it by 11 p.m. I was like, oh, yeah, it feels like I'm standing on concrete. So... but man, Premium Night was I had Tyler there, I had Spence there. We missed special guest, obviously.
No special guest,
but what a great night. And what was so cool about this event, Ryan, and let's talk about the first way we kicked off with what ended up being not only an amazing house, one of my top 5 houses, I think the biggest jump from my hype list to final rankings. Hatchet and Chains had no right to be so amazing. And I watched the walkthrough.
Yeah.
I've showed it to Abby, and I was just like, this house. But we even tested on Premium Night. We were like, I wonder if we could just pulse between our group. And we, instead of saying 5, we're like, hey, 2 and 3. And they were fine with it.
Yeah.
When they were pulsing, they didn't care. So.
Oh, yeah. No, that was great. And honestly, that was my preferred way of doing it because the houses that we did 5, it felt like whoever was in the back of the group was missing a lot of the things. So I was like, oh, really? The 2 and the 3 is ideal. Like, I think I would recommend if anybody was to do it next year with a larger group, just keep it at 3 being the top that you pulse together. So I did a lot of the houses, just Lee and I, and it was awesome. I mean, very intimidating, but
very scary. Dude,
Jason,
that's what
everyone's telling me about, like how like LRT doesn't have that many scares, and I'm like, I went through and I
disagree.
I know. I'm like, try going through by yourself.
Artista is the perfect combination of Dead Man's and Blood Moon. It is gorgeous. It is thematic. It is incredible. And the scares that do hit hard.
Yeah.
One of my best scares. The audacity of them to put the monster stilt scare at the front. At the very beginning of the house. That's crazy.
Exactly. I was going to say, that was one of my biggest scares of the night. It was just like walking through and instantly.
Absolutely destroyed. Great house. And the ending. The ending of that house was great.
The gargoyle flying overhead.
The gargoyle. Beautiful, amazing house.
The music,
again,
the facades.
The facades, plural. And again, on Premium Night, I will say this. I think aside from one house, every run through in Premium Night was not just better than opening night run through, was tenfold better.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It was so good.
And the only benefit you get to later to opening night is people are just working on their scares and their timing. Because there were, I've been in that position. It doesn't feel good. Yeah. There were scares in Premium Night. People scared nobody.
Yeah.
Because they can't see. And so, because that's what the houses are set up for. You're not supposed to be able to see every scare coming. They just jump out. That's so there were some timing issues, but you still, every house was a little bit more taking the detail on opening night because the scares weren't all focused on you and you were missing half of them.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I mean, Brian, my scare of the night, like I headbutted my wife by accident. No one called the police on me.
Leah,
like,
blink if you're okay.
I had the last Jason in the hallway stick a machete out by my throat, inches away. So I jumped backwards and then it hit. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, are you okay?" And then he did it again, and then he popped out the last window too.
Dude, that last hallway.
Yeah.
2 nights in a row. Did it more than any other house, and I still was shocked at how many hallways and Jasons there were.
Yeah, that house and Terrifier are the ones that I would love to just repeat over and over again.
Going. You could do them over and over again for sure.
Yeah.
And the other thing, I think that's all my premium notes. I had no issue with food. Grabbing water whenever I wanted. It made the world of difference.
Being able to go by and be like, oh, we're going to LRT and we all just grab chips. We're like, what even is this?
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. We're just getting chips.
We're just going to get,
It's fine. Yeah. What a great benefit. A hidden, not really a hidden benefit, but something that people don't think about. Oh, here's water. Here's Coke.
Yeah. Just get your, and that's like, even I tried to tell my buddies going and they were like, okay, we know that we get Pulse and we get better house experiences. And they loved it. They like, the last time they've come on a specialty night, especially like we were the kids sitting out front for 2 hours in the heat. We were the ones running and doing. So we've done private recipe store, but it's still thousands and thousands of people in your way. And when we were going through the lines and walking around, they both were like, this is how the event should be seen.
Yeah.
But then we went to the food stand. They're like, can I get a Coke? They're like, yeah, that's free too. I was like, yeah, guys, get it's included.
Yeah.
Take and the one was driving, he got to do the free parking. Just for under $400, I know we're going to raise the price again, but for under $400, you can't beat it. And that was a lot of people who were mad, were people who bought it last minute at like $440 or $420 or whatever.
I've been listening to reviews online and someone was saying, oh yeah, it was like $450. And I'm like, no. I mean, maybe you bought it last week or something like that, but anyone who buys their ticket last minute, if you go to Universal and you buy your ticket at the gate to go to Islands, you're going to pay like double the price.
You're leaving so much.
No one does that anymore. The ticket was $375 for like a full-on month after it came out.
Yeah. Just for anything at this point. Don't go up to the gate and buy it. You're losing so much money.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, and that's my other big test was we had a great time. I let the dust settle, and the next day I was talking to Spence and Tyler. I said, okay, I kind of felt bad. I was getting nervous the night before. We were eating at the Bread Basket or something. Shout out to Bread Basket because they had dairy soy free stuff. Actually, shout out. I put this on every survey. Shout out to Universal for having allergy information so readily available and for having options that I could have. I'm dairy soy free. Dairy's not too hard. Soy isn't everything. And I was shocked at the amount of food booths I could have items from that was soy free. And anytime I had questions, really helpful. All that was great. But we were at Bread Basket, and I kind of was like, hey guys, you spent a lot of money on a risk on something that I said is great, and I kind of feel responsible for your investment. And they were like, you should. No. And they know, I mean, we've tried everything. They've tried everything, and they know if I'm going to do it, it's probably worth the risk. And the next day I was like, so what do you guys think? Like, what would you say compared to Private Recipes? And they both easily said this was better than Private Recipe Store.
No, and I mean, so for me, if I could only go one night, it would be a premium night. I will say that I still am kind of team Frequent Fear Plus with Express, mainly just because I don't like the anxiety.
Multi-night is better.
I don't like the anxiety of having to try to get one night to do everything I want to do. Yeah. And that it was a little bit of like a friction there because like Leah was more like, oh, like let's hang out, let's do food and whatever. And she and I kind of had a discussion afterwards. She was like, hey, like if I do premium night again, I want to bring a friend so that way we can just like marathon food, do a couple houses with you, but then
hey Abby.
But hey, 100%. But then she was like, oh, but like, I don't want to prevent you and Brian from marathoning as many houses. Like, that's what you guys want to do. And you pay just as much money. And it's like, you know what? And you paid us just as much to have food. So like,
and that's why I kept yelling at Spence and Tyler. I was like, guys, I'm going to keep doing houses. I know you will too, but also eat. Like, you have to take care of yourself and you have to take time to stop and get what you want and enjoy what you want. Because you also paid.
Frequent Fear with Express is that you have those nights that you can just kind of go, yes, you're having to pay for food and all, but you have more opportunities. You can chase those perfect run-throughs. Even though you can't get Pulse, you can still get very good run-throughs.
Yes.
So, I mean, obviously that's kind of what we're planning on budgeting for next year. But if we're not able to make that work and we can only do one night, then it's definitely premium. And honestly, if we budget enough, I would like to do both.
Yeah. I mean, both is a great, obviously dream scenario, right? And last year I did premium and private recipe store only because premium wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
And, luckily, the people who this affects most don't listen to this podcast. Next year, we're planning the Epic trip or Epic Universe for Family Fall. So I'm just going to plan on going to premium and then just pick a night that we're over there and just go in,
Yeah.
But I did want to say this year I was a little, until Spencer Tyler made a really good observation. I said this would be the year to do private Rest in Peace tour because you would not have to traverse so far. The 4 sound stages, you could rapid fire those hard, and then you have the other 4. And you just rapid fire those, and they were cutting in between.
Be significantly less walking,
It'd be significantly less walking. You could do 3 run-through on each house, no problem. But, and why? Because I'm like, I wonder if they'll keep because we didn't hate the layout. We were scared about the layout.
Yeah.
I didn't hate it until Spence and Tyler, I forget who it was, made the observation. Said the problem with that is, and the problem with Rest in Peace Tour is, and we've experienced this with Wicked Growth, you do miss out on a lot of the atmosphere.
Yeah.
And especially if you're just doing all those houses in the back soundstage, you got to go through scare zones. You got to walk around.
Yep.
Here, you're just behind the scenes and you're missing half the event.
Yeah. You're not getting that Halloween break. Yeah.
Right.
Will you get those Art the Clown interactions in those backstage areas? Who knows? I mean, when we were going 30, we still saw Jack the Clown a little bit, but
yeah. But you still miss, and that's the thing. And going back to what you said and why it is a balance. The second night, Spence and I got to do things that I wouldn't have even tried to budget time for on the first night. And that is something I always miss when I do it. I'm like, this is why I wanted to come. You know?
Like you said, it's like just the casualness. That's like, for me, one of my favorite things to do as soon as I make it to Universal for my Horror Nights trip is I go to the tribute store during the day. So that way I'm not rushed.
Yep. But there's no rush of fear for you there.
No.
I even got my my app because Ryan, I worked on a present for you for all the points that you've won that I 3D printed for you. But I was like, well, how can I make 3D printing Halloween Horror Night stuff easier? And they had those super sick statues this year out front that I got to see a little bit of premium, but not too much. And I was like, wait, it's daytime. I have nothing to do. I went and 3D scanned them with my phone.
There you go.
So I could print those. And that's something I would never take time to do, know? And then we went through the scare zones probably 2 or 3 times that opening night to really just enjoy. And we watched the roller skaters, which we didn't get to do. So but even then it was great. And I had, for the first time, I'm having trouble with this, accepting my elderliness.
Yes.
I considered leaving the event before it closed, and I don't think I've ever left before 2 a.m. ever.
I know.
In
that's,
the years
that's a
I've
big
been going.
But yes, I completely relate, of course.
And I just was like, I could go home and I'm happy. There was a part of me that's like, I want to go back to the hotel and watch a horror movie and it not be 4:30 in the morning.
Yes.
I could leave. So, there's a lot. There's benefits to both, but as someone who's investing this much money and coming down for one night, premium is still the best deal by far.
It is. And then let's kind of move on. I know that we've touched on a lot of things, so we don't need to spend too much time, but HHN34, what do you think?
One for the books.
Yeah.
For the books. It's up there. It is really far up there.
I will say that this, we're not going to do our rankings tonight, but in putting together my rankings, my top 5.
Yeah.
They're all I could swap any of them. I think there's definitely 2 tiers for me, where I'm like, okay, these are the ones that I like, and these ones didn't hit as much, but still, I will say that this year there is no bad house.
Nope.
That even what I would consider my bottom house is still a good house. Just something that might not.
My two bottom houses would be top 5 houses 8 years ago and 7 years ago.
And I would tell you that because you know this, but my bottom house, or was most likely my bottom house, the other people that ended up going opening weekend in my friend group was their top house.
Interesting. Yeah.
So it's one of those years where, and I don't know if I've seen a year where so many people are
it's all over,
sold out. And it's like, there's the Wyatt 6 fans, there's the Terrifier fans, there's the Five Nights at Freddy's is the best. Oh my gosh, there's the Jason is the scary.
I was shocked at how many people represented and showed up for Jason and for Terrifier.
Yeah.
I knew there would be other ones, but the Jason fan base and merch was huge, and the Terrifier fan base was huge.
Yep. Terrifier is a very
My
big
God.
hit. I
What
thought
a house, dude.
I thought that it would do well, but man, they milked that property and they represented it so perfectly.
They represented it perfectly, and they put what they needed to into it, and it was no Triplets of Terror. This was a full-on really good house.
Everybody thought, and I mean, the house is gory, but everybody thought it was just going to be gore. But they leaned so much into the fun aspect of those movies
that it hit perfect. You could get scared, and it's so funny because I was like, we talk about the HHN effect, where because like this happened. I was like, Abby, look at this awesome poster I got. I'm gonna hang it in my office, and she was like, "Are you gonna hang that up year round?" I was like, "Yeah, it's not that bad." And when you're at Halloween Horror Nights, nothing looks that bad, Ryan.
Yeah.
And then you get home and you see this, and you're like, do I want my kids seeing this every day?
That is pretty dope,
and like,
though.
It is pretty dope. But like Art the Clown, you got some scary stuff. That being said, I told her, I was like, you would have loved Terrifier. It was so fun. And I showed her the walkthrough, and she had to stop watching because, my God, was it graphic and gory and really dark. And like, she was like, he just scalped that guy and was pouring bleach. I was like, well, like, look, he's laughing while he's doing it. He's like patting the brain, and she was just like, something's wrong with you for sure. So yeah, but man, they hit it all. But to your point, this was a hard year for ranking. It depends on what you wanted. Every house.
Scare zones.
Scare zones are back. This is the first time you actually had to see scare zones. You had to take time for it.
I will tell you, Brian, the hardest, I've put together my rankings. The scare zones were the hardest. Yeah. And not in a bad way. Not in the usual, like, oh, they all sucked, so which one sucked the least?
Right.
It was like, I legitimately love each one of these. I don't know which one to put up.
And
I felt bad for my bottom one because I was like, that can't be the bottom one. And they're like, well, I guess it is. But I'm like, but it's so good.
It is. They were all back to how, and I will say that's something, because I was worried on preview. I was like, we're going to see them the best they could be. Opening night, they still worked really well.
Okay.
And I think it's just because they put more scale and broke them out further in different places. So,
yeah, the Toxic 21s is huge.
Massive. Just absolutely massive.
When we were walking towards LRT to do it one last time, I was like, this does not end.
No. And the costumes and the design and everything was so smart because they weren't these big, massive things where people couldn't get close. Like, that's where that scare zone thrives.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, let's talk about, that scare zone had like triggered scares.
Yeah.
People hitting a trigger and running out of something, which we've only seen a handful of times. And then same with Cat. Yeah, Crooked Cat.
They have like a whole little like mini house. Yeah,
little mini house on the right. It was awesome. Like,
and that was a complete surprise too. Like, we were like, oh, look at this little like side area, and then suddenly the cats were jumping out.
Absolutely destroyed. Yeah, and then it ended with a little show with the old. The immersed. I was very nervous when he said you're going to be immersed from the moment you walk in. And I would say this is the first time, and I'd have to go back probably to 29 or something. The first time I felt like I was at Halloween Horror Nights and not, I'm going to do houses. Yeah, the house event, exactly like you said. So it definitely felt full. And I will say, with crowds, without crowds, I felt that way both times. And stuff like the Lagoon show happening. Yep. The lights, the it wasn't projection mapping, but the ooze coming down the buildings everywhere you went.
I really need to think about it, because this is a bold claim, but I'm really starting to think that this might be the best year I've gone.
Yeah, no,
because like
it's in the talks for sure.
Well, because for sure, like, there's years that I'd be like, oh, I think all the houses were great this year, but the scare zones were bad, or the shows weren't good, or whatever like that. But this one, I'm like, the houses were all great, the scare zones were all great. They had the Lagoon show. I can't tell you about Nightmare Fuel, but apparently people dig it. Like, so I'm like, man, this year really had everything. And I will agree, like, it just kept on feeling like I would turn the corner and I'm like, you're doing that too? We would leave the cat lady scare zone, and then they had the clown chainsaws, and I was like, you guys are back too? And then they have Club Horror and Mel's Die-In, and it really is the entire park.
It was immersive.
I didn't even go and do Harry Potter, but I know there's Death Eaters back there. So
the Death Eaters were, it really was a full event, and it was worth everything walking around.
Especially doing premium.
Yeah, especially during premium. The whole of Rip Ride Rocket was felt among visuals, but
Yeah. I know they missed the
not
opportunity
really.
to do Roller Coaster Graveyard House.
Yeah, where was that? I did not get my track piece, so that's a bummer.
Sure you didn't.
But overall, right, it's up there.
Yeah.
As a contender. And what made me encouraged, I was just worried because I was like, how sustainable is this? Are they just throwing everything at it because of this reason or that reason? But, I don't know where the budget was going or how they reworked the budget, because that was my only thing. It's like, why is this at this scale all of a sudden?
Yeah. Well, and it's funny too, because, and I mean, I was one of them. This was the year that everybody was saying that was going to be toned down a little bit budget-wise because of Epic.
Right.
And
because
it's like,
of Epic.
the year you're like, yeah, where'd you guys get all this money? Maybe it's the Epic money. I don't know.
Maybe it is. I don't know. But you definitely felt it across the board.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, what else do you want to, because we kind of touched on everything.
Yeah, we touched on everything. So I just want to, I mean, this is
Hollywood opened.
Yeah, I was gonna say Hollywood is officially open. Looks good. I'm looking forward to seeing some walkthroughs. Their 5 nights looks a little toned down than ours, but I hear it's still good. Everything's good. Well, Poltergeist, I've heard mixed things about, but
I haven't watched all the walkthroughs. Their Terrifier was, how Rob likes to call it, it's a little more book reporty, but it was still good. It's just like look at the scenes, look at the but it was good. And their WWE house was definitely someone doing a house that they had to do. And it is not as I feel bad for if you're in Hollywood, please come see the Orlando one if you're a WWE fan. It was given much more intentional care.
Just by judging like the reaction of like the people that made the Orlando one versus like you didn't really hear much coming from Hollywood. Not saying anything bad about them or whatever.
No.
Maybe they love it.
Murray's been pretty open about being against WWE and not bringing. He's not a big fan of wrestling, and he didn't want a wrestling house. But like he still had fun creativity. He just took it a very different direction.
Yeah.
So I forget what someone said it best. Where it's like, it was someone who looked at Cliff Notes and then just went off of their own idea. But the characters were still there. So overall it's great. Right. I do want to just say opening night, the energy was a lot of fun still. I forgot what opening night energy is like. Oh, that's what I wanted to say. So I was informed by your wife, and I am now leaning hard into this. I did some girl math, Ryan.
Okay.
Because we were going to go to Epic Universe or Islands of Adventure on Friday. Spence was not feeling good, so we didn't want to push it. And then all of a sudden we were like, well, hey, we were about to spend $200 and we didn't. This is a new concept to me. Okay. I was already not okay spending the $200. I was like, this is going to be a problem. And then we were like, we should get Stay and Scream.
Yay.
And we did. And Ryan, I would do it again in a heartbeat. It is back to being an enjoyable. We walked in, we did Simpsons. I went shopping.
There you go.
I mean, we had a great time. And then we still got in line for Terrifier 40 minutes before it opened. And it only was at a 40-minute wait.
Okay.
So now, if you wanted to see 5 nights, you'd have to spend the whole time camping out. Obviously. But man, if I were to do 2 nights, I would do one of them, Stay and Scream, and just enjoy the park too. Because we Spence and I we went into Diagon Alley in the daytime, which I forget the Death Eaters are out in the daytime too. So yeah, loved it. Opening night, the lines and the crowds at the scare zones were atrocious. The people were terrible. There was a lot of rough stuff, and but overall still had a great time. Loved seeing some of the houses again.
Yeah.
But man, if I could do it differently, I'd go to opening night, then go to premium, because it really ruined the full park crowd. But still got to see the houses.
That's the big thing for you and I in premium is it would be nice to have it a little bit later in the season. Have it feel a little bit more Halloween-y than just kind of okay, this still is kind of like summer. Even though the weather, it rained a little bit, but it was cooler.
That first night felt amazing.
Yeah.
Did not happen the second night. It rained a little bit the second night.
Okay.
Just a little bit, and then it just stayed hot and muggy the rest of the night. But I will say the second night we got to do Mummy and Men in Black.
Okay.
And do, again, just watch the show, eat, sit down and enjoy food. But still, it just, we got tired. We hit our wall, and you wait in those lines, and it's so busy now out in the park that Spence finally, he was like, look, I didn't think we were going to do that many houses. I said, I wasn't going to, but it's so busy. I said, walking around the scare zones at this point is no different than standing in the lines. So, and again, him and I are two people that don't mind a long wait. Like, it's what we're there for.
Yeah.
But yeah, had some great run throughs. I still it still solidified the houses that I thought. Nothing changed from the night before. And it just was a great year. I'm kind of bummed that it's over already because of how good of a year it is.
Especially hitting October. That's going to be when it really hurts. Tough. And I already had a friend text me out of the blue yesterday and say, hey, by the way, I'm probably going to be going down in October. I'll let you know when I'm going. I'm just like, I already went. So,
I did it. Absolutely.
Well, I mean, there you go. There's our review of Halloween Horror Nights 34 2025. Stay tuned for our rankings.
I'm so glad I have time to think. I've been watching walkthroughs, and even like when I was watching some with Abby, I was like, God, this house is it's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good. How do I not? This is going to be a tough year to rank, and I might switch to the S tier, A tier rankings because I don't know if I can put one against the other because they're so good on their own level. So
that's not bad. Maybe we might discuss. We might change it
both.
up. Yeah.
Maybe we do both. Right? I don't know. So great year. Anybody who hasn't gone and you're waiting to go, just know you're in for a treat. I know there's a hurricane threat right now, but just make sure you have plans or backup plans. Rob, we're going to figure something out for you, buddy.
Yes.
You break my heart. You're going. We know that. We've got a strategy for you that will work. I still think you're going to be able to get a fast pass at the door.
Yes.
So, all right. Other than that.
Yep. Well, thanks everybody for listening. Those are our thoughts. Go to the event. Enjoy it. Definitely go experience some of the houses, and you'll hear from us soon.
See you for ranking.
All right.
Time to rank, baby.